It's Naomi Shops here, and it is my weekly weigh-in. I was almost not going to do one this week. I know, and I promised you guys, well, I promised myself actually, that I was going to do a video every week, because if I didn't do one, that meant I was screwing around and not doing what I was supposed to be doing. So, update. All right, last time we talked, I was going to be starting Dukan diet. And my plan was for 10 days, and I was only going to do the protein. I wasn't going to do any veggies. I wasn't going to do any cheeses. I wasn't going to do any of that stuff. And I got to day 5, and I thought I was just not feeling it this time around. I was so, and maybe it's because I was only doing proteins, where the time before I was adding cheese and dairy, the non-fat dairy, and this time I didn't, because I really wanted to get that weight that I had put on from my binge. And so I don't know if that took effect, but on day 5 I was in the kitchen just crying. My husband came home and I just started crying, because it really does something mentally to you when you have to cut those sugars out. It really does. It just shows you the addiction that's in all those sugars and everything. It messes with you. And so while I was on about day 3, I started looking at Whole30. And you might have saw it. It's kind of a fad type thing, but they don't call it a diet because it's not technically a diet. Although it's a diet, let's be honest. But I started looking into it. I don't know if you're as geeky as I am, but when I'm going to do something, I like to get all the information so that I can see if it's the right thing for me. So I did a lot of reading, and then I ordered the books on Amazon, and there's 4 books that I bought. And I was just kind of glancing through them while I was still on Dukan, because I thought, maybe I'll do this after the 10 days on Dukan. I had already decided I wasn't going to do Weight Watchers anymore. I just didn't feel like Weight Watchers was going to get me where I wanted to go, unfortunately. So I had went online and I made sure to cancel it. And it was actually fairly easy. Thank you. Nutrisystem was not. So that was nice. It's just a little too much money. I thought I was paying $8.23, but that was the first month, and then it went up to $19.99, and that's a little expensive for not really doing a lot. I don't know, in my opinion. But yeah, so I was looking at day 5. I broke down and I said, you know what, I'm not going to do Dukan. I'm going to end up messing around, and I'm going to put it all back on. I'm going to end up cheating is what I felt like I was going to do. So I decided, all right, day 6, I'm going to Whole30 instead. So I am now at 6 days on Whole30, and I have to say it's like a heaven sent, because it's so much better than Dukan. It's kind of like Dukan in a way, but it's instead of dairy, there's no dairy, and there's no bread, sugars, any of that. You can have fruit, you can have vegetables, but you cannot have like beans, peas, any legumes. So you can't have any of that. You can't have any breads. You can't have any sugars outside of like natural fruit, stuff like that. And then you can have whatever meat you want. And there's no counting calories. There's no nothing as far as that goes. You can eat what you want basically on it. They do say that you should kind of regulate your fruit, but you can still have it. They don't really put like a cap on it. They just say, it does have sugar in it, so just be cautious of it. But oh my gosh, it's so much better. I really don't miss not having the cheese at all, so that's easy for me to give up. I don't really care that much. I don't know how I'll feel later when I get around like bread and stuff like that. Although, my husband and my son are eating bread. Although my husband has been eating some of the dinners with me, and he says they're pretty good. So that's kind of exciting to know that it's not just me, that it feels like it tastes well. It's my family too. So my son has tried some of it. So it's been just really pretty easy. The only thing is you do have to meal prep a lot. I've kind of learned to get certain things like Trader Joe's is your go-to, Sprouts, and Whole Foods probably too, although Whole Foods is across town from me, so Trader Joe's is just down the street, and that's easiest for me, and Sprouts isn't too far down the street also. So it's been just pretty mellow, pretty easy. Like I said, if you've done Dukan, although what I'll tell you is everybody says they go through this detox thing with the Whole30, but I think you go through that with Dukan too. So I'm thankful that I did the Dukan before I started Whole30, because it felt like a blessing to have Whole30, because you're so restricted on the Dukan diet for that first several days while they detox you basically. And so when I got to go to Whole30, it was really easy for me. So maybe if you're thinking about doing Whole30, do the Dukan for 5 days and then go to Whole30, because then you'll really, you know, enjoy it. You'll think it's like amazing. So what the Whole30 is they say that this is what really kind of got me interested in it, is that it's supposed to help reset your metabolism, which A, I need badly, and B, I'm not sure if it can be fixed, and this is a way to find out if it can be fixed. The second thing is that I have a lot of lung issues, and one thing that people have talked about on there is that with asthma and stuff, they haven't had any more asthma attacks. It brings down their blood pressure, cholesterol, all of these different things. So that really attracted me too, which it makes sense, because you're not getting the sugars and you're not getting the carbs and stuff, and you know, all the bad for you stuff. So I can see how that would be beneficial. It also, I guess legumes have a problem with causing flare-ups, which I didn't know that, but a lot of people that get rheumatoid arthritis and things like that have found cutting that out of their diet has helped immensely with that. So there's all these like really good things that I read, and I'm really excited to try, you know, go this whole 30 days and see what it brings me at the end. It's supposed to not be so much about the weight loss, but the other things, but typically people lose weight. So I'm willing to try it. You're not supposed to get on the scale. So I got on the scale the day I did it, which I took off all the weight that I had gained. So I was at 165.7. So I took all that 7 pounds off in that 5 days on the Dukan, which thank you, Lord, that came off. And so that's the last weigh on. So it's been 6 days and no weigh in. I'm going to try to not weigh myself for the 30 days so I can see what happens. I didn't take measurements, so I might try to do that today, later on. No, I want to do it in the morning. So I'll do it tomorrow morning so I can see if anything changed with measurements too, because I'm really curious. People say they lose like 7 inches, 7+ inches. Excuse me. That was the other reason why I almost didn't do a video this week, is just I've been feeling, not because of the diet, but I don't know if it's the allergies because we have everything's blooming, or if I've got a cold or what, but it feels like my throat's scratchy. It doesn't feel good and my face hurts and I'm coughing, and so that's been going on this week. And somebody stole my credit card number, and so I've been dealing with that, which is a whole nother headache. Why? Go get a job. Stop stealing people's money. Anyway, so it was just been kind of a hectic week, but I have been doing the Whole30 and I've been staying on track, sickness and all, which maybe it's a good thing because I haven't really felt hungry, and I don't know if it's because I'm sick or if it's because of Whole30. We'll find out when I'm feeling better. But anyway, that's the update. I'm doing the Whole30. So far, so good. I really like it. And then once you finish the 30, you start slowly introducing food so you can see how your body reacts, whether it be weight gain or if you get problems in your gut or you start up with lung issues again, whatever the case is, then you can rule out those things so you know that it affects your diet. And I have a feeling that carbs are going to be my problem. I've known it for years, but we'll see. We'll see what happens after the 30 days, and if I slowly start putting in things back into my system, how my body reacts. It'll be really, really interesting, and I hope that I get some really positive things at the end, which I can't imagine that I won't, because I really feel pretty positive about it. I will tell you that my skin broke out a little bit, but I think it's because it's purging, at least I hope, because I do not want, you know, bad skin as a result to this. But yeah, I'm curious if it's also pushing things out of my skin. And it could also be because Dukan too, I was detoxing on that. So we'll see how my skin does, because that was another thing that people said, is that their skin really improved. And yes, I would like good skin. Thank you, please. Anyway, until next time, bye guys.